Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine Live. I'm Catherine, and it's time for the November 2024 Creative Memories virtual crop. Thank you for hanging on an extra day to watch. It's been an interesting time since we moved. Just to make that little bit of extra time, it didn't help that I was sick this previous week. But, hey, I made it. We are going to get these sketches put together, and I can't wait to show you what I have done. So let me get things switched over here, and let's get started. All right, we are going to start with the Showtime collection. This one, I think, just had one or two votes, and I thought, let's go ahead and still show it. We'll do a single page with it, and I think hopefully that'll be good, and we'll give you all some ideas. I don't have a ton of this collection left, but if you do check out the Creative Memories website, hang on, they still have the paper, the tone-on-tone paper, and the mats available for sale from this collection. So if you aren't aware of the Showtime collection, it's a little bit of an older collection, but still have paper and mats available. Go figure, I don't have any mats. How is that possible? I love the mats. But I did have some paper, so that's what we're using, kind of what I have left in my stock here. I'm going to hold up the sketch here. This is what we're going to be doing. Let me go ahead and set this aside. I also did pull out, I used a punch that isn't available anymore. I don't do this very often, but the music staff notes just spoke to me with this page. You can kind of see where we're going to be going with it. And to me, it just made sense to have it. I essentially used 2 or 3 sheets of designer. I used 3 sheets of designer paper. Let me move these over. Let me actually get out my embellishment tray because I don't want to lose all of these stars. Yep, see, I even almost lost one already of what we're going to be placing on here. And I've got a little cluster down here in the bottom as well. Oops. And then I do also have my zero centering ruler out and ready to help me with the placement on this one because it is a little tricky. If you saw the sketch, we do have these. I did go with the 4x4 squares. I used the, I think really a lot of times our paper, there's designer on one side and then tonal on the other. And we're actually going to use the tonal side for our mats. These are 4x4. And I did 4 of those. And then also I used the same paper, but we're going to use the feather side up for the corners. And instead of, I don't know what it was that it said on the sketch, mine are 2.5-inch squares that I cut in half, and then we're using in the corners. And finally, I also used, let's see here, another piece up here. Oops, this is another sticker. Let's put that in here. So this piece was another scrap essentially, but I just thought it really helped anchor the whole page. So this was 3 inches by 2.5 inches, and we are actually going to place this piece first. But I need to show you what I'm using for my base, so I'm trying to get this thing uncovered. I'm still not used to live streaming all 4 sketches together, I guess. This one is going through the center of our page here, and this one is a 6-inch piece, and that's going to be our second piece on the page. But first things first, we made it to the bottom. We have the page with the balloons is what is our base, and it has the purplish stripes on the back. So hey, whew, there we go. I don't know why it feels almost as hard taking the paper apart as it does putting it back together, but I need to, according to my notes, get this one placed first. So with your zero centering ruler, our lines run, if I can actually pick it up again, hang on. Our lines run both horizontal and vertically through the ruler. So I'm actually going to line this up at the edges of my page as well as along the 1-inch line here. So here's the 0, here's 1 inch, here's 1.5 is the edge of the ruler I am lining up at 1 inch. I think, let me get my, sorry if I get my head on the camera there, but I need to also be able to see what I'm doing a little bit. We're going to grab this little piece with the feathers on it. That was the 3 by 2.5. It was essentially our a scrap piece. And we're going to center this at the top here, that 1/2 inch down. So it should be right at 1 1/4 on either side of our 0. Yes. And there we go. So now we're also going to go ahead and get our 2 corners placed as well, because these also need to go about a 1/2 inch down. Uh-oh, I forgot my silicone mat. I had a class the other day and I used it for that. I'm gonna have to see if I can find it quickly. I think it's pretty close. I'm gonna need it for some of these small pieces eventually. We'll see. All right, and so these are also going to be a 1/2 inch down, but 1 inch in. Oops. Oh, wait, no, I think it was supposed to be a 1/2 inch in. Hang on, where are my notes? Yes, a 1/2 inch in because, see, I got flustered because I'd left my thing. So here's the 5. Here is, I'm going to have to flip it. Hang on, let me get this one first. A 1/2 inch out further than where it is. Oops, I've got to reset that. Right at the line here. And here. So a 1/2 inch from the corner and a 1/2 inch from the top. There we go. Following that line. Okay. And then I'm going to flip this. And that way I can easily get my 1/2 inch again from both edges. Goodness gracious. Like I said, I don't know. I thought this one would be an easy one. I've got to think this was the... I think I have some more complicated ones coming, but we'll see. Okay, so now I also need to center my piece that's going to run through the page, and then we'll get our feathers put along the bottom, our corner pieces to hold our mats or highlight our mats essentially, because I just found the feathers with this little touches of gold in the corners really highlighted a lot going through the page. And then also this page was directional. So when I cut it through the, I don't know, it looks very Art Deco-y to me. Like almost like a, like a neon sign going this way, but we're using it going this way. So I guess, however, hopefully that explains it and y'all are following me just fine, because clearly Catherine's already had a day and I don't know if I need to be. Is it dangerous to scrapbook after feeling like you had a day a little bit already? It hasn't been a bad day. It's been a pretty good day. It's just been a busy day. Okay, so where's that 1 inch mark again? So I can get my 1/2 inch from the bottom here. Here we go. And then we'll go ahead and do the 1/2 inch from the corner over here again, and from the other corner as well. And normally I don't always do these extra layers of paper, but I just thought, the sketch just kind of spoke to me this way. And you could easily do a mitering of your paper, so that way you do save some of it and not use up quite as much with layering this 6-inch piece through the center, but that's going to be up to you. Okay, why is this? Here we go. And let's get my 1/2 inch coming in. It's really hard because it's dark paper. There we go. All right, so our corners are down. Our feathers in the center are down that are going to highlight things there. That's what I needed my mat for. Okay. Here we go. All right, not to run. There, I knew it was close. I just had to turn around and grab it from behind my desk here, because we do have our music notes that we're going to need this for coming up with our repositionable tape. And I do want the feather side up again. It kind of came out looking kind of neat to highlight the musical notes that way with that little bit of gold going through, because this essentially, it really is a kind of a darker page overall with all of the darker colors and the purples. The collection overall really is kind of has many darker tones in it. It's pretty. I mean, it goes with some of the navies and darker greens and things, but in general, it's not like, I guess, our birthday collection that's super bright. Okay, we need the ruler again because we're going to go in an inch now. So let's get on our an inch from the bottom and an inch from the side, so that way we can get this measurement just right again. Let's see how we wind up here. Here we go. Oops. Oh, I'm coming off this going inside my ruler or under it. There we go. Okay. And a lot of times, you all know I don't necessarily do this much measuring, but I just thought with this layout, the symmetry really looked like it mattered. I mean, you could see where these are just exactly placed kind of 4 through. And I mean, they do have for them a border going all the way through. But for me, I had a scrap essentially left. And that's, I think, what I used for some of my other parts. And so 8 inches is how I punched the music staff and notes. And basically I wound up just trimming a little bit off of the edge so that way both ends are open on it. There we go. Let's see if I can get that on camera for you all. Instead of having like a solid bit of paper on the edge. And so it wound up being really nice and symmetrical overall there. Okay, where's my inch again? There it is, that 1/2 inch line. Let's put this down just a hair so I can get this lined up. And we will keep it moving along. Here we go. All right, and it makes it so easy to place it. And these two overlap this, and this one overlap this, so that's why we had to put this one down first. It just kind of made for a little extra measurement, but I got it. We got it. Now, after I've measured everything else, dare I put my 0 centering ruler away, or do I go ahead and make sure I get this one centered too? I probably should make sure I get this one centered too. What do you think? It just makes sense. Okay. It just seems smart. Okay, so we have how much in between here? We have 2 inches. Our punch this is one of those I don't think I have a short for. Go figure. It's about 1 inch. So we'll be at a 1/2 inch up from here again. So let's just measure from this part of our mat, and then we will, since we know we have 8 inches, we'll go between the 4s. Bringing it down a little bit here. Make sure it's lined up. Okay. Voila. Done. 0 centering ruler really helped with this one. Okay. We have our take the stage. And of course, I also forgot my foam squares. Goodness. I'll just go ahead and get myself a new one out of the pack here. You would think I thought I made sure I had everything. Well, at least I've got the 4 sketches done and I know what I'm doing for all of them. It just somehow, how did I wind up under? Well, that's okay. Foam square on our take the stage here. And that's going to go right up here in the middle of this one. And I figure about 1/4 inch. And this one I am going to eyeball. I know I could get my ruler out again, but I think that looks pretty good. We have this. So this bunch of flowers just kind of spoke to me a bit. It has the same squared look as all of our other corners. And I just thought it really added a neat highlight to this top left corner here. We're going to add a star above it. Just into the corner here. And then we're going to place the bouquet over that, but under our mat, which means I need to find my multi-purpose tool and lift that up a little bit because that's coming under. This is going to just accentuate the corner a little bit more. So following the lines of the corner here. And there we go. So I'll show you that one up close. How's about that? So just kind of coming up, you can see it just brings a little extra to that corner, drawing the eye up and out, but we're still going to be drawing our eye through the whole layout as well. I've got some flowers for this bottom corner and a couple more of these stars. Oh no, we had a lot of stars left in the sticker sheet, so I thought, well, I might as well use them up. I know the stickers aren't available still, but you know, I've got to use up what I've got too. So hopefully y'all still have stickers around, especially if you've been scrapbooking with me for a little bit here. You'll still have these also, or you would if you've been doing exactly what I've been doing with my collections, because I think I have filmed just about everything I've done. It seems like, you know what, I'm going to add a small foam square underneath. We're going to pop up just the top of this flower. I'm not letting go because it goes over our photo mat just a little bit, but I kind of want the rest of it to be down because it has a natural curve to it, but I still want it to be, I want it just to be partially up here. So it's not going to interfere with our photo, but it also adds a little extra dimension as well. Normally we pop up the whole thing, but not this time. I'm going to add this to the end of our flowers as well, just kind of covering up the stem there. And then we have 4 more stars to place just through here, kind of from the corner edge of our photo mats here. And they don't have to be exact, but if you want to get your ruler back out for this, you can. Go. Set the smaller ones on the bottom. On the other side, so we'll put the smaller one on the bottom on this side. And here we go. All right. Whew. No, I thought we've got the first one just about done. I feel like, okay, live stream jitters are over again, and we'll power through the other 3. It should be great. We have 3 double page layouts coming. Move my tray aside, move the foam squares. And here it is. The first layout is done. Let me know if you have any questions. I appreciate you watching and joining me for my virtual crop sketches. You can see here's this little thing I did with the foam square with that little cluster in the corner of the page. And you can see you can make out those music notes still, even though I used the busier side of the paper there. All right. Number 1 is done. Here is the sketch. And yeah, I didn't follow it exactly, but we still wound up with a pretty fun layout using a collection that we might not have looked at in a while. I know I hadn't. That's why when I saw that there were still some available, I was like, hey, let's go ahead and use some Showtime. All right, sketch number 2 is one with our highest voted, the secret box number 4, which I'm guessing everybody just wanted ideas of things to do with their secret box. So I was kind of glad for that. Let me get my notes adjusted here. Here is, what we're going to be doing for sketch number 2. All right, am I on? There we go. I think I'm on the camera completely now. Okay. Oh, you know what? I was going to show you all. I got some of these guys. Do you want me to talk about the photos? I can talk about the... Hang on, let me bring this other one back in a second. I forgot about that. Usually I've started to talk to y'all a little bit more about where photo placement. So of course we have the 4x4 squares. So you're going to want a slightly smaller photo. Let's see here. We've got a 3.5 by 3.5 example here. All right. Oops, if I can tear it off here. So essentially, yeah, you are going to wind up with your 4 photos in the 4 corners here for this one. But if you want to do a Catherine, I have this one is 5.5 by 3.5 is what it says. And so you could easily do a horizontal photo through the bottom here and not think twice about it. You could even pop this one up underneath your sticker that's through here, you can change it up and do a taller photo as well, or have one up here and a smaller one down here as well. So this is 4x3. So you can just run that through that way. And so there you go. Hey, look at me. I can show you guys exact photo sizes now. How's about that? It's kind of fun. Usually I just abstractly talk about it. Now I can give you all more concrete ideas. I think I'm going to have to pull in the rest of my little pads here so I have them closer so I remember to talk about that. Let's put that on the stack. Let's get that out of the way though. Okay, let's go on over here. Number 2, let me go ahead and let's clean things up a little so I can figure out where I'm at with this one. We're going to do the left side first, which I think is this one. Yes. Okay, so let me move the right side over here, and then I will show you both sides together at the end. I have a couple embellishments that I've pulled in, and I've used some avocado cardstock to cut some mats. So on this side, we are going to have 3 4x6 mats and 1 4x4. I did also punch out with our Diamond Link chain border maker cartridge that came in the box. You do need the border maker system when you're using the border maker cartridges. So just keep that in mind. Let me put all this away. Goodness. There are times when I feel like I need more than pans. Okay, and now with the paper that comes in the secret box, I did some fussy cutting. And so first of all, for the base on both sides, I'm using this wood look one. It is the lighter kind of beige color, but with the wood tone side up. And I took this sheet that has the chevrons on the back of it. And for the top one, I essentially cut so where you could get the green at the top and the bottom going across. So this is 1.5 inch by 12, but essentially I just used my cut guide on my trimmer and I cut it very carefully and made sure that you could see the green at the top and the bottom. And then for this one, this is essentially 2.1/8 inch by 12, but I did it so where the green was running through the center of it because I wanted to mix it up a little bit. And then also with the way the sketch was, it just made more sense to me. So with our sketch, they had this 12 by 3/4 inch across the top. And then they also had a 12 by 6 across the bottom, which means you have essentially, 5 1/4 in here. And so I don't know if this was supposed to be the same as that or not. I think it's all in how you want to interpret the sketch. I guess you could cut a 3/4 inch piece off of the same paper and then use that at the top and the bottom, miter something in if you want or not. But I just thought, let's make the paper do the work for us. I've done this before and I'll probably do it again because I like this kind of, I guess, like, is it a hack? Maybe. So line it up at the top of your page, just going across. And then we're also going to place this one, kind of through, it's not quite at the bottom, about 1 inch up from the bottom. I probably should measure. I'm not going to this time since we use the 0 centering ruler so much on the other side. And then the opposite side of our stripe paper was the chevron. So I did punch from that same paper. And we had, I think, essentially I used just about the entire sheet for this page, except we had a couple of little bits left. And for that, we're going to see that later. I'm actually going to be using, sorry about that, my scraps in a later layout. I'm just going to line this up against my border mat here and run this through the middle real quick here through the 6 and just do it this way. So it doesn't have to be exact, like I said, but this one I think is, you kind of do want it to be through the middle. That's really what they show on here as well, but sketch interpretation. always some options. And then bring in your mats. I did use the avocado cardstock for my mats. It would help if I grabbed the tape runner I wanted to get these stuck down. Okay, let's get some tape runner going here. And okay, so this one is coming in from the bottom. This one's going across up here. Actually, we probably should start at the top. My 4x4 is actually going to be in the bottom. So this one is up here like so. So just coming down, and it does come over our, what was this one called again? Diamond chain. Okay, so this first time, diamond link chain. I was like, I was close for only having opened it earlier this week when I wasn't feeling so great. That's not too bad. And then I'm gonna go ahead and place this other one across here on the sketch. They do have it showing smaller photos, but I like having the option for slightly larger photos as well. We're going to kind of run this one through the middle of the diamonds, I guess, is essentially what I'm lining this up with. And in fact, let's go right here. So there's a diamond here, and there's a diamond here. And I'm kind of lining it up, going through that a bit, but I'm also, hey, you can line it up on the bottom of the page, and it'll work out just right, I think. There we go. Yep. So that way you kind of have each diamond here, but it's running halfway through the other ones a bit. But you can see these nice diamonds through here. And finally, we're going to have this one here, bottom left. So one 4x4. You could probably get away with doing another 4x6, but I think I just was using one sheet of avocado cardstock because I did bring in one of our frames that we got in the secret box. So I thought this was kind of cool here. This is one of our embellishments also from the box. It has almost an avocado effect outline on it. And so I'm gonna place this one just straight on the page because I also think it's an option to add a name or a title or something written in this space here. It might be one of those where you're writing, you know how sometimes you see those welcome signs on people's houses where it has welcome written down through it? That's kind of what I was thinking you could use this piece for. And then there was this little batch of mail, and I thought that actually looks kind of nice tucked up and through here. It has these green tones. It does have some of the blue tones, but in the tan, but it brings our colors from both our pages together a bit. And this is also going to go just straight on the page. I didn't want to foam square it because I wanted to go under the mats just a little bit. There we go. So just kind of peeping out a little bit from there. So this is the left side of our page. I will again show you the right side, and then I'll bring in both together. Okay, here comes in the right side of the page. Now for this one, I am going to be using this double frame that we have found in our secret box as well. This one, it has the white on the back side, so sometimes some of our laser cut borders and things are double-sided, and occasionally you'll get a double-sided frame, but this one definitely had the green, and so that's what we're going to go with. Okay, I don't know. There we go. Something on something. I have the same two fussy cut stripes from this paper that had the chevron on the back. I have the same wood tone effect on the base of my page. And now we're just going to go ahead and get these placed on. I am going to bring this other page in so I get my two stripe strips lined up. What in the world did I get on my paper? Goodness, I'm sorry about that. Yeesh. So that's at the top, about an inch from the bottom, so that way it looks like our stripes are just coming straight through the page here. There we go. Okay. And now, what do we have? We have the a 4x4. Well, actually, we have two 4x4s, and then we have a 4x6. So let's get some tape runner going on those. Oops. Got a little crazy with my tape runner there. Goodness. You don't need much, but you need a little bit more than that. Okay. So the 4x6 is coming in from the top again here. And this one is a little bit higher than where we placed it on the other side. So this one's coming actually just below that green line. And the green line is about a 1/4 of an inch, essentially, because I had to measure it because we're using it later. So, you know, those random things that you pick up when you're putting layouts together. And this one we're going to line up over here with the green as well. Actually, I wanted the bottom to line up. So this is coming across here. Oh, well, there we go. They're both 4 inches, so they both have to be up with the green line then. There we go. I've got like just a little extra. Don't know what I did when I was cutting it, but there we go. Scissors for the win. One of the best things about paper crafting is you can always fix it. Scissors are our friend. Now this one's coming in from the bottom over here, but I need to measure with our frame a little bit because our frame is coming in from this right side over here. So this actually does go behind our frame just a little bit, but I needed to make sure that it wasn't going to come through the frame. So I'm leaving essentially a 1/4 of an inch from the left edge of the page here. So you can kind of still see the stripes a little bit, but not too much. I'm going to put a tiny bit of repositionable tape onto my frame so that way I can still get my photos under it later, but I want to make sure to get the placement on here where I want it. And then I also probably need to get my border on first before I press down on that. And we ran out. Okay. Here we go. We'll be back in business in no time. It's always a good idea to make sure you get any extra residue out from your holder when you're changing out your refills. Here we go. Okay, where was I? Over here, putting repositionable tape on my border. Okay, line up my paper on my border thing here real quick with my mat. And yep, this is gonna mess this up a little. Okay. Get that straight, going across, and now this is going to come back in and up just a little bit because we need it on the page. So I'm watching this bottom corner here, but I do want it so that the lighter green one is linear, I guess, if you will, essentially more straight, and this one is more angled. So hopefully that made sense to you all. Of course, that's me. Now, this one, I can't resist. I normally don't do stuff like this, but you know, I normally do stuff that I normally don't do. So why wouldn't I do it? It's I guess one of my things is always kind of it just spoke to me. What can I say? Doesn't that look good there? I mean, it just looks really nice framed out in this 4x4. I'm going to use a little bit of repositionable tape. I might change my mind later when I get my photos for this page, but for now, I just really liked the way that this little tree with the fancy little doodads around the edges of it. What are those corbels, or it's one of those home things. So, and then this, because the family sticker also has those little doodads. And because I'm being highly technical here, maybe it's corbel. Somebody's going to have to put a comment and let me know what the little doodads are called. So it's that little fancy, because we have some actually on the sticker sheet as well that are on their own. So that's all right. But anyway, so I have family here, And where was I going to put this? All right. I think we're going to put this running through the border sticker, and I like the idea of popping this one up also. So I'm just going to grab the end of my foam tape here and take a little cut out of this. I used a lot of foam tape yesterday on that project. You guys are in for a treat on Saturday. Just saying, you might want to tune in. I mean, if you're willing to not scrapbook with scrapbook paper, it's one you might want to see. Okay, now that that little preview's done, we're going to line this up in here. And I'm going to center it again between the two diamonds here. Okay, let's put these two pages together, and then I have a comment. I'm going to check and see if we have any questions or just somebody saying hi, which is always nice too. Know that I'm not here just talking to myself, even though I can see that I have people joining me, which is always fun. I love it when y'all come and join me. See where my brain's going for the virtual crop. Okay. What do y'all think about that? Do you like that I put an embellishment into a photo spot? I don't know. I'm still kind of torn about how I feel about that because, you know, I like to get more photos on the page, but this is where we started. And I just liked that I was able to add an extra photo here. You can easily journal around the embellishment and word journal in this space around here, the lighter space. But I also feel like I added a few more extra larger photos because the frame does take a smaller photo as well. And we made it a 2-page layout. So, you know, hey, we've got that going for us too. We always have more 2-page layouts and singles in our books anyways. And let's see. Okay, so here's our 3.5 photo size there. This would probably also be a 3.5. Let's see, what is this? 5.5 by 3.5, probably going across. You know, I actually would almost go even just a little bit bigger. I would probably go 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. I mean, it's nice to have a border, but you might not want as much of a border, if I can speak anymore here. And then of course you're going to have these smaller photos. Looks like this is a 3x4, 4x3, 3x4 that'll come in and under from our frame here. And you can easily, again, put another 3x4 here next to it or pull in this 3.5 by 4.5. And like I said, you can easily adjust and do some other, you know, I'm never tied into the mats. And I know I've kind of talked about this a little bit before, but you know, you can easily do something like this and not worry about where your mats are actually on your page. But there you go. You guys liking that I got these things? I hope so. I think it does give a little more explanation. And let's check the comment. Okay, what have we got? Oh, great. Jean really likes the new Border Maker cartridge triangle. It's actually diamonds, Jean. It's what is it? Diamond chain. Diamond link chain. Yep, it's the one that was in the secret box. So if I can actually get the camera to focus on it, that's it. And oh, hi. We have another comment coming from Sydney, Australia. Thank you so much for joining us. Did the first 2 pages from the crop. All right. Yes, I love seeing all the different interpretations as well. Jean, quite all right. That's why I showed it again too. I figured that's what you meant. And I can see why you thought maybe triangles, because it does look like here we do have, I mean, what are diamonds but squares? And squares you can turn into triangles just like we did on the Showtime layout that I just did. So I'm just glad you're here. Thanks so much for joining and for commenting. And I'm glad you love it. I love how this one looked punched out too. I can see where I definitely kind of almost wish it wasn't in a secret box, that I could use it for more. And I may have to do a sketch with me with just the secret box because I've got a lot of it left here. But at the rate I'm going with the sketch with me, so I'm kind of behind on the 8 ball on that one a little bit too. But, you know, my daughter's been doing college tours and I've been all over a bit. I feel like I've slept away from Pennsylvania more than we've actually been here. Whoops. Just hit my ruler there. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and get into sketch number 3. here we go. So now I've already kind of spoiled things a little bit for y'all and told you will be seeing another layout with secret box number 4, which means that that's going to be our last sketch. Sketch number 4 is going to also be secret box number 4. I did have some votes for the silver and gold collection, and I want to apologize for the people that voted for it because it turned out I didn't have as much silver and gold as I thought I did. And then by the time when I was looking at the sketches, I just didn't have any that spoke to me with silver and gold with what I had left. And I didn't feel like I could do it justice. So instead, you get a bonus with secret box number 4, and that's just kind of how it goes some months. I'm going to probably have to just say farewell to my silver and gold. But there is still, if you like silver and gold, there is still some of that available too. Hang on, where did I put that? Okay, I got my little thing here. My Power Project folder with it. Okay, we do still have the tone-on-tone paper, the foiled accent paper, the mats, and embellishments from silver and gold still available. I got a lot of mats from that one, but I don't have as much paper. So maybe I'll buy some paper and we'll do that in December. Maybe that might be a fun one to use as an alternate Christmas layout or something. I don't know. I'll have to think about that one. Maybe with the Black Friday sale, that might be something to get me to the $150 for the bonus bundle. Okay, where are we though? Sketch number 3. This is what we're doing. And we're going to use sunflower fields for this one. Let me move away the right side of the page. And okay, if y'all have been watching my channel for a while, you are going to recognize I still had some of the banner Border Maker cartridge negatives from when I did the sunflower way back in Washington State this past spring when we were there. And it just, I love to use up scraps. I love to give you all ideas for using your scraps. And this is the negative, but I don't know what it was about this punch or this Border Maker. I just loved the negative. And when you punch with purpose, you can use it on your layouts as well. And I just loved, this one also has that deco-y feel to me, the Art Deco-y feel. I probably should show you all the papers before I start sticking things down, right? Okay, this one has a bit of a chevron to it. So when I hold it this way, you can kind of see it a little bit more, but it has that little bit of a washed out look. Again, designer side, tonal side. We're using the tonal side for the base this time. This one is the one with, just kind of the sunflowers. And then we also had this one with the sunflowers with the green plaid on the black back. And we're going to use the sunflower side on this one for the center of this one. I don't know what it was about this virtual crop, but it seemed like there was a lot of papers running through other papers and a lot of like 6-inch papers for some reason. I don't know. It just, I don't know. It was just this virtual crop. It felt like it that way to me personally, and maybe it wasn't. Maybe that was just because that other sketch, you could see where we had the other, the contrast in color that I talked about. But this one, you can see where it does have a thing going through it. And I thought, okay. And it has the border pieces up and down. And I think I have stickers from this collection, but I don't think those are available anymore. But I thought, I have these border negatives, and I just thought, let's use up some of what we've got. If you've made a sunflower that I showed you all earlier in the year, those were so much fun. I thought they turned out really pretty. And so, why not go ahead and use up some of our extra. And these, I think I cut at about, it was either an inch or an inch and a quarter. I can measure real quick. Whoops, if I can actually get it to stick going straight across the page for me right above these sunflowers. Here we go. Okay. There we go. And now we'll get this other one down as well. And I will measure real quick for you all too, just to give you an idea of where I did cut this at. And maybe I should have waited until I didn't have the tape on it. That's okay. I can come up from behind the ruler. Let's see here. That's right at an inch. So, you know, you could have 12 of these out of one sheet of paper, and you can make your sunflower, and you can make your, in fact, I'll bet you this was the side I used for the sunflower, and we're using the plaid side for the border. And it looks like there's one side that's a little bit wider than the other side as well. Just a hair, maybe an eighth of an inch going across here. So I'm putting the slightly wider side towards the 6-inch piece. And then I have some mats, and these are the 4.5. So I have used a bunch of our mats from the mat pack for this one. What am I doing here? Okay, this is one that was a 4.5 by 6.5. I cut in half. We are going to use the other half on the other side of the page. And let's see, we've got the dark green plaid, we've got the yellow plaid, and these do have kind of the chevron. These all three actually have the chevron-y look on the back side of them. And this one is it's the single sunflower on one side, but it's the triple on the back side of it. So here we go. And I think we're actually going to color that one in a little bit. Hang on, I've got to get the sunflower placed first, or else I'm not going to be able to put the rest on. So this is just going at the top here. We'll see the little edge of this banner here. This one is coming in on top of it. So our plaids are kind of going to be lined up. I am watching, we're going about, because we have the 6.5, we have a 6-inch and we've got a 6.5 inch. So I'm bringing it down. It's about 1/4 of an inch on either side. It's not exact because I just eyeballed it, but that's okay to eyeball things, because the whole idea is to get the photos on the page, and you don't want to spend 3 hours doing one page and making, you know, I did on the Showtime one. It wasn't 3 hours, but you could tell it definitely was more thought involved by the amount I woo-wooed on that one, I guess. It was wearing me out a little bit. We're going to address this in a minute, because I want to use those shimmer brush pens on it. Have you all been getting the shimmer brush pens too? I hope so. I keep on having to update my video showing all of them side by side. I know several of them keep selling out, but we're going to use them on this. Or you can actually use your dual tip pens as well. But I just think that that's going to be an extra touch, because we don't really have a whole lot in the way of other embellishments on this page. We have our borders, but that's about it, really. And I think that's going to add just that finishing touch to the page, just to kind of give it something a little extra, a little special. And, oops, okay. I don't know if that must be a newer tape runner. Sometimes they flow a little faster at the beginning and a little slower towards the end. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that. Here we go. And now, let's get some tape runner on these. Okay. All right, I'm going to put the wider end towards the paper again. Here we go. Oops. All right. And if you have a different collection, you can easily substitute in border stickers with this as well. All right, so I have a 4x6 mat. This one is Live Simply Bloom Wildly. I just like that it brought the green back in from the other side. We have the other green or yellow plaid mat with the purple on the back. We're having issues with shapes and colors today. Green plaid with the brown on the back. And then this is the other half of the mat we used on the other side of the page with the brown chevron on it. So these two are 4.5 by 6.5. The one with the saying on it is a 4x6, and this half mat was half of a 4.5 by 6.5, but I needed it over here because we are going to use it as our journal box, and I wanted to make sure that it was going to be going the direction of the lines on the box, because sometimes we have the mats and half of it is a journal box and half of it is a what was that? There was like a photo mat, basically. I'm like, what are we looking at here? They're photo mats. So this is going to just run through here, and this one's going to run below, kind of following the same line again like we did on the other side, except for this one's going down a little bit further, I think, closer to the bottom. We're going to see a little bit more of our sunflowers on this side of the page than we did on the other side. All right, there's that. I know I need to color still a little bit here, and I will do that. Let me grab my pens. Boy, I'm just forgetting everything today. All right, so here are these two pages put together. Make sure you can see it. So you can definitely see we have those little banner, the negative running through, and here and there you can see it. And this is what they had for the sketch. And so I added, I changed up the sizes a bit. I didn't necessarily want to do the 4x4s. Again, we have some smaller photos on some of the other sketches, but on this one, I just wanted to bring back in kind of what I like to do is bring in those larger photos. Let me grab one of these. Let's see. So this is a 4x6 size from this thing here. Let's pull this off. Here we go. So you can see definitely our 6x4, 4x6, 6x4. Y'all know what I mean, right? So coming in easily with these, but you can also do it again. You can cover, so this almost covers up the two sides here. And then you can easily put your horizontal. So you have options for vertical and horizontal with the mats. You just wind up with a little bit of larger thing, or you could even do a 5x7 photo running down through this one as well. 4x6 here, 4x6 here. But again, if you want easily, I'm gonna see, I don't know, I'm gonna have issues with these things because I just want to move them wherever. I think I'm just used to drawing where you're gonna put your photos. You can definitely run it this way with the where you would have it even framed through the middle here a little more. I don't know if you would want to do it this way. Maybe not so much on this side, but you can also do it this way and then run a second one down below it as well. So again, options. Let me grab my shimmer brush pens. It's a good thing there's a lot of things close in this room because it's not such a big room. Okay, we have green. I have, what do we have? We have purple, pink. I may have to actually get some of my regular pens and not just the shimmer ones. Let's see here if I have my roll close by. Here's a brown, and here's a green. Well, we do have the shimmer green. But what color? Here we go. We got a couple of dot tip pens for our sunflower. And here's a more of a finer point. 1, 2. Okay. That should be enough options. Let's go ahead and just get this done kind of quickly here. Let's go with this. Since most of the sunflowers are typically yellow, we're going to use the dot tip part of this. And just run it through here. I'm going to go quickly. Just going to give this some highlights. On the other side, ooh, this is really fine. Okay, we're going to use the dot tip side for our leaves also. But I'm going to add, I think, just a little bit of orange as well. And I'm not going to color in everything, but I'm following the shape of the leaves just to kind of get some highlights through here, and I'll add, like I said, a little bit of orange coming up. And if anybody has any questions or comments, now is a great time to type them. I can definitely look up now that we're mostly done with this layout. We have one more to go. We'll get there. But I do think this is going to really finish off this layout for us. Let's see here. Okay. Which tape thing? Uh-oh. Was it in my bag? Or, okay, I hope you're still here with me, Gerald. Which tape thing are you talking about? Because was it the foam tape or the silicone mat for doing the borders? Let me know, and I'll be happy to answer. If it's the silicone mat, that one is an advisor exclusive, and that one you could if you are an advisor, you have access to it. If you're not an advisor, you can definitely send me an email and we can talk about some things and see if we can get one set up for you. I'm going to add a little bit of orange through here. Uh-oh, I missed a petal there. I'm going to have to go back and add a little bit of yellow to that one. Okay. And then I'll look up again in a minute and double check and see if that's what Gerald was thinking about or if it was something else. Okay, let me get this yellow back again because I need to finish this one that I missed. Okay, there's that. And now leaves, we will add some of this and then we'll add the little shimmer. Okay. Checking the pen. And you can see, I honestly, I would be going this quick even if I wasn't live. I just don't think, I think you all know, I don't always color in the lines most of the time. And with this, you can be a little abstract. I think if you saw my little leaf I did on the autumn cottage layout I did a couple weeks ago, I just took a bunch of dots and I just kind of filled it in with a little center thing. That's about how I do things. And also with that book punch one that I did, I think, to answer a viewer question. Just doesn't have to be perfect and precise. Again, you just kind of want to get it done, get it highlighted. Your family will know you took some time to do it, but maybe I'm a little more perfection oriented in cooking since that's my primary background. But even if I burn something, there's ways to fix it sometimes. Sometimes, not all the time. I usually don't burn too much though. That's the other half of it, I guess. But I do love to cook. I was cooking, made some pumpkin spice caramel corn this morning. That was fun for an event I need to go to later today. So it's been a full day. I've got the last of my sketches done before I came on, and feels good to be able to get these finished up as well. Let's see here. All right. The one I used to tape the mat down. Is it the tape runner? The actual tape runner? I'm still trying to figure out To tape the border down or to tape the actual mats down, Gerald? Let's see. We'll find out. But yep, it's either the tape runner, the silicone mat. This one is the silicone mat. This is the tape runner. And this is the repositionable tape runner. Yes. Okay. So that's our tape runner. And that is one of our main products in our core product line. It's phenomenal. And I do actually have a short that talks about the tape runners. It talks about the vellum tape runner, but I think I did show it against the other tape runners as well. Okay, making sure I'm getting enough shimmer out of here. But I will show you real quick. I'll do a quick demo. I need to find a index sheet where I can, no, you might not want an index sheet because it might not show up. I'll grab a little quick piece of cardstock. I definitely have plenty of that around too. Give my leaves just a little bit of shine here with my Shimmer Brush Green. The Shimmer Brush Green was in our Christmas Charm Buy It All bundle. So, okay, yep, tape runner. All right, Gerald, hang on. Let me get a piece of cardstock. And there we go. Oops. Almost dumped over my cardstock scrap thing. Okay. I have a piece of our dark sea green. So our tape runner, and this one is our primary tape runner. It's made up of, it's kind of little sets of rectangles almost. There's little slits in between every, so there's an individual piece of the tape runner. It's essentially a small piece of tape, and it's just on a big roller. And yes, they are refillable. We do sell the refills. They pop in and out of the holders. Now, I will say also the holders don't last forever, but you can use them quite a long time. And the refills come in boxes that look like this. So this is what our refill cartridge looks like. And it's just but when you buy the actual tape runner, you'll want the actual tape runner. I'll put a direct link to it in my comments for this video when I'm done live streaming. The repositionable is slightly different. It's going to be a little bit harder to see. It's made up of a series of dots. There you go. And what that does is basically the dots will actually help you, especially when you're working with embellishments and small pieces. The reason I do that on the silicone mat is because the pieces will stick to the paper, but not to the silicone mat. And especially when you have a little piece, like a small heart or something, it makes it handy. But the other thing you can do is you can just rub your thumb. If I can do this on camera, and you'll see where it just rubs off completely. So that one is a nice thing for that. And these, you can eventually get the tape runner off, but it definitely is stickier, and you can get it off. It just is a little bit harder to get off using the thumbnail. The repositionable is made to be if you stick something down and you need to pull it back up. So I can hold this on here just fine using the repositionable, and it'll come right up pretty easily. So there you go. I will include a link in the comments with this video to the tape runners, and then that way you can see all of our tape runners. We do have a vellum tape runner, we have a max strength tape runner, and so they do come in other strengths, but the primary two we use are the actual tape runner, the regular tape runner, which is what we do use for the mats and the larger photos and things, and then the repositionable, which we use for smaller pieces as well. So hopefully that answered your question, Gerald. Thank you for asking it. Here's my sunflower with the shimmer and my quick coloring in that drawing. I hope everybody appreciated my little tape runner talk there as well. And that's our layout for sketch number 3. Who's ready for sketch number 4? I think I am. And all right. Sketch number 4 from Secret Box number 4. Here we go. I hope that answered your question, Gerald. You're very welcome. Let me know. You can definitely leave me another question in the comments later, and I can always do another adhesive video for you if you would like to see some of the others. We also do have a glue pen essentially as well, and that I've used a lot of times for crafting and things. So, all right, let's get into number 4 here. Here is our layout. Let me put my instructions of what I'm doing here so I don't forget. Here's this one here. And we are going to, I pulled the right side out first. Okay, well, we're going to do, nope, let's do the left side. I think it's easier when I do the left side first. Let me set this aside. Let me move my piece of cardstock with tape runner on it now so I don't accidentally stick something to it. Okay, so now you kind of already seen on both sides where we're going, but that's okay. Let me pull in my little embellishment tray again so I can pull these pieces off of here. So now you can already see I've got those scraps from the other layout. We are going to be using a couple of our border stickers. I also did use our square punch on this one because it did ask for 1 3/4 inch squares, and I know sometimes I'll mix it up a little bit, but with this one, if you have the square punch, it's exactly 1 3/4 inches. Pull it out, use it, save yourself a little time than trying to cut all of these squares with your 12-inch trimmer. Just make life a little bit easier. And we are going to be using the beige cardstock for our base. It's beige. And then I pulled in this was Argyle paper with the stripes on the back of it for our mats. Because when I started to look at the what I had left, and then when I pulled in, we're also using avocado and cool gray cardstock, which are 2 of the cardstocks recommended. Hey, you know, I usually add to your list, but this time I'm not. And then, of course, here's the border sticker because this one has the gray in it. This has some grays, but also our green pairs well with the gray, the stripes. If I can get the light and the camera to focus for me, has a little bit of kind of like a little bit of the blue and the gray in it as well. So the designers do know what they're doing. They do coordinate the colors nicely, and it's just up to us to put it all together, I guess. Okay, this one I will need the 0 centering ruler for again. I mean, it's just one of my favorite tools, and I do use it quite a lot. But we are going to stick this down. Okay, let me move my mats because I'm going to need to get this 1/4 inch with a little bit of the repositionable tape on it. And on the left side, which is what we're doing here, we're going to run our little skinny green stripe that I had extra, which I don't know if I cut something wrong when I was cutting earlier, or I don't know what I did. But anyways, that's how we wound up with a little extra green stripe and one with just the little green lines running through it. So we're using this wider part on the bottom first, and I didn't actually measure how wide this was. It is exactly 1 inch. But I want it 1/4 inch below center. Running across my page is where we're starting with this one, and then the green that's now stuck to my tape runner is going to go on top of that. So, and like I said, this one's right at 1/4 inch. Yeah. So somehow I wound up with an extra green stripe out of place from when I was doing the lines for that other one. I just felt like I really felt strongly about where the green, darker green line hit on the other layout. And so with this one, it just worked out that I was able to use it again, which was nice because then that way we didn't have any scraps from that piece of paper that we used. Now, for our diamonds, we have our avocado and we have gray, and so we have 4 gray and 5 avocado because the gray is going to be behind, and the avocado, why do I want to call it green when we can call it avocado, is going to go in the front. I did that also on my sheet. I wrote green and then I was like, oh, it's actually avocado cardstock. So if you're purchasing, you won't, well, we have dark green, but this is avocado. What can I say? All right, so the gray needs to go down first. And these are going at, I checked, we're going at the 4 and the 1¼ inch marks on my 0 centering ruler. So if you have a normal ruler, that is going to be so 2 inches in, and so what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'd be 4 3/4 from the edge of your page. But for me, it was just easier to write 4 because that's where it's going to be. And what did I say? 1 1/4 on each side of my 0. So those kind of wind up a little bit closer-ish, but it was hard to get these so they would do what you wanted to do going across the page, and make sure you got it at the right point on the bottom as well. So, and then with our green, I have it right in the middle. So right at the 6 or the 0 is what it is on my ruler here. And then 2 3/8 and 4 3/4. So I don't know what you're going to do with the 2 3/8, but basically whatever 6 inches plus or minus 2 3/8 on either side of it is where I'm placing mine going across. And then at the 4 3/4 is the next one. And that just made it so it makes a nice design going across. They're evenly spaced. This was actually the hardest part of the entire layout, honestly, was getting these to line up and look nice going across your page. And then we're going to run these through it, your little border sticker. So let's get that going on here. And I just thought it's kind of almost made it look like it has like a little extra like piece of jewelry going through it, or it just, I don't know, it just really cemented the colors and everything for me. And then we just have the 2 4x6 mats going down on our page here. I'll probably put my, well, I don't want to totally put my ruler away because I'm gonna need it for the other side, but you can at least set it aside. And these are going up here. So about 3/4 of an inch from the corners here. And like I said, if you want to keep pulling the ruler out for it, you can. I'm not, because normally I don't that much, but for something like this, it's a little bit more fussy. It's not a bad idea. Okay, so we had a old-timey projector, and I thought this just was too hard to resist actually putting it at an angle underneath our photo. It's almost like it's taking up a movie of your other picture that's going up here. And then I found these gears that were also in our embellishment pack, and these are some of our self-adhesive embellishments. We're just going to do a quick little pattern with the gears going down with the dark one on the top, and I'm spacing them probably between 1/4 and 1/2 inch, maybe somewhere in between there. roughly just coming down. I just thought that added a little bit of extra. It brings your, again, the colors together. It'll flow through both our pages. And this is the left page, and I will talk about where to put your photos in just a moment, because this one is more, I don't want to say me, but this one's a little more me. Okay, I'm going to flip this. We're actually going to be working upside down a minute, but because we have more of these diamonds to place, I want to have it closer to me rather than further away so I can see what I'm doing. And we have those stripes again. Here we go. All right, let's get these strips down first, or these squares. Squares, not strips. Our avocado and our gray again. Gray is going to go in the back again. The avocado is going in the front. I probably should just spread these out. Why did I do that? I guess it really doesn't matter. We don't have to worry about flipping anything because it's cardstock. Now with our designer paper, you always have to make sure you're getting the tape on the side you want it on. But the cardstock, not so much. And a lot of times I think we do to kind of tend to flip the cardstock too because we're so used to flipping the designer paper. Okay, so I'm going back to the 1 1/4 again with my gray here. Oops, 1 1/4, 1 1/4 is here. Get this done. And what did I say with the other one? 4 inches. Okay. Reline up my ruler here because it seems to be sliding a little bit all over the place on me today. Well, it doesn't help that the table gets a little slippery. That is one of those things. I wonder if they make a grippy table for scrapbooking or crafting. Wouldn't that be something? Somebody out there to make that and let me know. Okay, so 0, 2 3/8, and 4 3/4. So 2 3/8. I need to flip my ruler so I can find that 3/8. Here we are. It's easy enough to find the other ones, but oops. Sure I have that lined up nicely. And the 4 3/4 is the last one here. Okay. But we also want to make sure we stay on the paper as well. Let's get that lined up better. There we go. Okay. And all right, there we go. Not too shabby. Oops. Although I forgot, I still need the ruler because we need to put our stripes going across at the same point we put on the other one. But with this one, we are going to start with the green on the bottom. And we're going to go to that 1/4 inch below the 0 again. My paper will stay flipped over so I can actually get the tape runner on it. Here we go. And oops. Here we go. All right, so again, the 1/4 inch below the 0, so that would be 6 1/4 for people with regular rulers, not with the 0 centering ruler. But let me tell you, once you get the 0 centering ruler, you're not going to go back. It just makes it so easy for these pages that you're going to use it all the time. All right, let's go ahead and get our page flipped because this time the diamonds are going to be across the top just like in the sketch. I know, I actually followed the sketch a bit. There we go. I'm making it look a little bit like it has a necklace running through it. And you could leave your diamonds just as they are, but I just thought, you know, this just, like I said, it reinforces the shape, it reinforces the colors. It just works. And here we go. These two are coming down here. I don't think they were exactly at the bottom though. Let's go ahead and go line this up with the green line. So it's about maybe an eighth to a 16th of an inch above the bottom there. And I'm about 3/4 of an inch to an inch in, but I may actually have to move that because we are going to put this in between this little banner piece. Yeah, I need to go over just a little bit to the right here and then to the left. So I'm lining it up more with the stripes at the top than at the bottom, but I do need to scoot this over and I'm going to use my multi-purpose tool again just to lift it up and scoot this over as well, about a 1/2 inch from the edge of the page on the left and the right sides here. Oops. Come on, paper, work with me. There we go. All right. And then we have every family has a story. Welcome to ours. I thought that was a really sweet sentiment. We have this watch. We have some more gears. We have our heart. Okay, when we have this little banner embellishment. And so first things first, I'm going to put the banner embellishment on because I thought this would make a cute journal box. I'm going to line it up with the start of the green lines on the page here. And then I thought, I couldn't resist. This heart was the lighter gray and it has the same pattern as the top of the banner, but I didn't like the circle in there. So I'm going to put a little foam square under this one. And actually I'm going to cut this in half and do the 2 halves of the heart with half of a foam square. I think we're going to go with this one. And I haven't checked recently to see if our microtip scissors are back in stock yet or not. They were out of stock for a little bit, but they are my favorite scissors. I love that I've been able to cut through all kinds of stickers and Mod Podge and everything and not have them goop up on me at all. Okay, so our heart's going over that circle because, why not? And I'll put it up close for you all to see coming up. This is going to go straight on. This one is going to go beneath this. So I'm wondering if I should probably pop that one up too. I wanted to see exactly where I wanted to place because I want this gear basically is going to be under the sticker. Yep, we're going to pop this up. We're going to place this one down right around there. So we just won't put a foam square on this end. So I'll leave my finger here. Well, maybe. Okay, I know it's in the corner towards me. How's about that? Because I want to get a little foam tape also. Oh, I'm right at the end of my foam tape. It's a good thing I have another roll in here somewhere. I'm going to have to dig that out too. Goodness. I didn't take that the other night to my class though, so I'm pretty sure I know where it is. Okay, first things first this is going up here over part of our diamonds. Remember, it's popped up. Let's go ahead and get some tape runner on this, if I can actually move it to get the tape runner on it. And this is going under, where that one gear is going to be partially under, and there we go. And I just thought that was really a neat sentiment. And that the watch just, like I said, the colors and the style just seem to fit. So we're going to do 3 more gears here at the bottom, just spaced a little bit apart, about the same as what we did with those other gears at the top. It's essentially about a finger's width apart here on this end. But when you journal, you're going to journal on your banner, but you can also journal in this space down here as well. So this is the right side of our page, and give you a close-up of the heart over that other little circle that just was bugging me. Let me get the other page onto the camera here for you all. Oops, losing things. Sometimes I need more. You need an extra hand and more space. Why do our tables always seem like they need more space, right? Here we go. Okay. Okay, so here are our 2 pages for sketch number 4. If anybody has any questions or comments, now's a great time to put them in. And I will bring back in the sketch and then I'll talk about photos as well. So here, this on this right side, they did have 3 kind of going across the bottom, but they want 3x5 photos, and I wanted a larger photo. So I did do the 4x6 mats down here. I also did adjust where our diamonds are on the page. I put them up because I can get another photo up here. And then on the left again as well, I wanted to, so they wanted to put, they have where we have a 4x6 photo, but I did the 4x6 mats again. And again, I put this down a little bit further as well to give me extra options for photos. So let's see here. I've got my little 4x6, but the 4x6 is going to be the same size as the mat. So I probably need to get that slightly smaller one. I mean, for me, just trim 1/4 of an inch off your photos. If that, because this one is 3.5 by 5.5. And you can see where it's definitely, I feel like you almost have too much mat there. And it depends on how much mat you want showing, but you know, if you go a little closer, you just get those little edges and it kind of almost makes it look a little bit more striking. I don't know if I can hold that up for you all to see the difference. So if I center it, you can see where you're getting a lot more of that. And if you put it a little closer here, you can see where you get less and you just have that little pointy highlight that's, I don't know, I think a little bit more attractive. So something to keep in mind when you're trimming out your photos. This one, the 5.5 by 3.5 can easily fit up here. We might even be able to fit a 4x6 as well, or 6x4, you know, well, it's, y'all know what I mean, right? 4x6, 6x4, you can easily go this direction as well and bring your photo in and down. This is the slightly smaller one. And then you could easily fit another smaller photo that's a 4x3 here, or you could do it this other way, 3x4 even, but then of course you are going to see more of the matte part as well. So here's that again. And then on the left side, let's try, you can easily get a 4x6 down here. So, or 6x4, or whichever, however you say it, I don't know how precise, but you can easily get, I mean, well, you'd be covering up a lot of your diamonds if you did 2 of those, but you could easily bring one up here even, and then you still can have another second one with that 3.5 by 5.5. You would just layer a little bit differently. You could put your 4x6 over this. And I would actually go the 3 3/4 by 5 3/4, but that's just me. And because a lot of times when you have just that little bit at the bottom of your photo, what is it? It's a table, it's grass, it's, you know, it's somebody's belly, maybe. I don't know. What are you taking pictures of? Usually they're people, so maybe it's their feet, or you know. Anyways, so that's kind of where I would do it. And you know, if you also really want to get crazy, you would be covering up some of your gears that we put up here, but you could go across as well. But I probably wouldn't do that. I would definitely do that, and I would probably also do the more of the layered like this if I was going to put my photos onto this page. So, all right. It looks like there aren't any other questions. That was sketch number 4. Let me go ahead and come in here and let y'all know what's happening around here. I am hoping to get a second video filmed for later this weekend's release. I did do, like I said, a long one for this coming Saturday that I'm really excited about, and I hope you all will tune in and watch that one as well. I still have a few more shorts I've already filmed, but I haven't had a chance to edit yet. So you'll be seeing a few more shorts sprinkled in here and there. And then I am getting ready to get on the road with my daughter again for another college tour. So we'll see when I get a chance to film again. I know I'm behind on the sketch with me's. I do have my power project folders lined up, and I already have a sketch picked out for the Autumn Cottage collection. I just haven't had a chance to film it yet, and then I got squirreled a little bit with the other projects that I wanted to do. So stay tuned, they're coming. and we'll get there. It just sometimes life happens and takes a little bit longer than other times. So once again, but I will keep doing these virtual crops every month. I like this longer format. I hope you all do too. Until next time.